Hey y'all, I'm doing okra right now, getting it ready for supper. So I thought I would kind of go over it with you for the ones that don't know. My kitchen is destroyed. I have vegetables everywhere. But I've cut up my okra, and this is the way I cut it up. You can cut it up how you want to. I've got my bowl that I have my cornmeal in, that I bread things in, and I'll just pour it in there. And then let me lower this where you can see. And then I just add, all I do is wash it, slice it, and add cornmeal. Some add flour, and hey, whatever works for you is fine with me. Let me get a glove where I don't have to stop and wash my hands. And then I just bread it. Forgot to turn my pan on. I just bread it really good. It's wet from the washing, and this was just cut. So part was out of my garden and part was out of a friend's garden, and she shared it with me. I just eyeball it, and you don't want to fry a bunch of cornmeal. You want to fry the okra, so you want it sticking to the okra. But and then you put it in a hot pan of a little oil or Crisco or whatever. Now, many have asked me how to, let me get this back up where y'all can see me like I'm really fixed up or something. I'm doing vegetables, so. And checking on a cow that's fixing to have a calf, and doing 100 things, and I'm so thankful. Many have asked me how to put up okra. I am no teacher. I want to make that really clear. Although I believe, well, I believe that teaching on here as a ministry is what I'm supposed to do. How I learned how to put up okra is from Sweet Hunter's granny. And it wasn't from her telling me how, it was from watching, because she was one of those people that didn't tell you how. You just had to watch. In fact, me and Sweet Hunter's aunt, which is my sweet friend Evelyn, we used to watch it, and then we'd run and write things down because she was an amazing cook. So here's the way she did it. She did just exactly what I just did. She breaded her okra. Then she got a cookie sheet. She sprayed it or put a little oil on it. I put a little oil on it. Spraying it is okay, but I put a little oil on it. She spread out her okra on the cookie sheet. She put it in a 450 preheated oven. And it's not enough oil to get it real wet, but enough to keep it from being so dry. Then she would, maybe 5-7 minutes, she would flip it. So what you're doing is heating it through, but you don't want a lot of grease, but you don't want it real dry either. Then she would set the cookie sheet. She would cook it about 7, maybe 10 minutes, heat it through. Just make sure it's heated through good. It don't have to be brown. Sometimes it does turn brown, but you don't want it real brown. See, I'm not a teacher. And then she would set the cookie sheet out and let it cool. And then she would package it, however you package it. Ziplocs, Sillamil, vacuum pack, however you do it, to put in your freezer. So I'm gonna show you how I cook the okra, which is what she showed, what we watched her do. But she was simple, and she was a great cook. The first time I ever met her, it was about 11 o'clock one night, and Sweet Hunter lived in a garage apartment about 3 doors down, and on his family's property. And it was about 11 o'clock, and he said, I want you to meet my grandparents. And they didn't call her Granny, they called her Beeler. Her name was Beulah, but they called her Beeler, something like that. The grandkids did. I miss hearing that. I miss hearing that name. And we walked out there, and his papa was laying on the couch, and she's in the kitchen, and I smelled the most heavenly smell ever. It was a chocolate cake. Oh my goodness. So we ate warm chocolate cake about midnight that night, and they were so sweet to me, and I was proud that he wanted to take me out there and meet them, and of course y'all know the rest of the story. So it's funny because Sweet Hunter was a football player, and a good football player for our little school. He was actually a really good football player. I never really noticed him. I really didn't. We got together way after school. But I have people all the time, they'll send me a message and say, oh, you married the football player. And I'm saying, huh? What? Because I didn't, you know, I mean, I have the annuals and I have all that, but that's not what I married. I married a hardworking man that treated me really good. And don't know why I got off on that, but hey, it's sweet memories. So, but anyway, we've had a good life. We've almost been married 42 years, and we've had a good life. A little bumps in the road with my sickness, but you know, that's life. So I'm gonna fry this okra. So I talked too much and got my pan too hot, so I had to cut it off. But you want a hot pan, and you don't want excess cornmeal, so I just kind of shake it and put it in the pan. I don't know how many of you have gas, but my gas eye will cook after it's cut off. So I will cut it back on in just a minute. And the way I do this is just like I do my squash, and I showed that the other day. Remember, it has a little oil in here. Sometimes you have to add a little more once it gets to frying, you can tell. But the way I cook my squash, and you can go to YouTube, Our Forever Farm, and you can, I'm pretty sure I put it on there. If not, it will be on there soon. I cook this the very same way. I get it brown on the stove, turn it, cook it for a few minutes, and then I finish mine off in the oven. Had a lot of questions that I haven't got to answer, and I do apologize for that. I just can't answer every comment or message. They've asked me, how long do you bake it? Well, I don't really call it baking it. I call it finishing it off, because it's cooking on here. All right, let me cut this back on. And what I'm doing is finishing it off. I'm just finishing it off. And I can just, this is salt and pepper. I can just turn my oven off when I think it's done, and my oven stays good and warm, and it'll stay good and hot for Sweet Hunter. So we'll continue this in a minute. Okay, while I was doing the first side of this, let me turn my ice maker off. Y'all probably can't hear. While I was doing the first side of this, I made my cornbread, putting it in a 500-degree oven. And then I'm going to turn this. You can see it's got brown. Maybe 5 to 7 minutes. Not real high at all. I don't want to burn it, although Sweet Hunter does love his okra burned. I actually do too. So then I'll do that probably 5 to 7 minutes on that side, and then I'll finish it off in the oven. The oven's 500, and I'll show you that when it comes out. Okay, you can see that it's brown. It's not as brown as we like it, but I did it on both sides. And you can continue just to cook it on here and fry it on here. Just make sure you don't have too much grease, but you want some to keep it from being dry. I'm going to finish this off in the oven. My cornbread's in, and I've got some stewed potatoes in or on the oven. I'm going to finish that off in a 500-degree oven. It won't take long at all. And that's the way I fry okra out of the oven. And if you would like to, oh, I'm burning myself. If you would like to, if you'd like to know how to make cornbread, if you've never made it before, again, you can go to YouTube, Our Forever Farm, and look at my videos. Please subscribe. It really helps me. I'm gonna get the okra out. And it's done. And again, I browned it on the top of the stove on both sides, and then I just finished it off in the oven. So that's how you fry okra, or how I fry okra. You do you. You do it how you want to. I have to apologize. A lot of people say they can't hear me. I'm trying to do that, take care of that. I'm trying to talk louder. Talking is not a problem, but when I'm cooking, I might get a little low. Any spoons I use, they're offending people. So I'm sorry, I can't help it. I can't help it. And the last thing is, I'm not a teacher. I am not. I've been told I wasn't by 3 different people. I am not. I am not the best cook. Seriously. I'm just trying to help. So, and encourage. And get you to go cook something. See y'all.